rhythms as scales. This sentence is from the book Rhythms of the Brain. The short punchline of this book is that brains are foretelling devices and their predictive powers emerge from the various rhythms they perpetually generate. Sine wave is one of the simplest forms of rhythm. It has several characteristics that all rhythms share: phase, frequency, and amplitude. They can serve as scales for brain to perceive. First, brain generates rhythms as scales spontaneously. Second, compare them with the signals from the external world. If you want to know more about the mechanism, this book, Rhythms of the Brain, might be the best choice. This is a left view program to generate sine waves. You can see how a rotation movement can be transformed to a sine wave. And then I made a 60-degree advanced sine wave with half of the amplitude. I can change frequency and direction with just a small modification of initial parameters. It shows that from a rotation movement, various rhythms can be generated. When a signal is too weak to be detected, we can add white noise to the signal. The signal's frequency and the corresponding white noise frequency will resonate with each other, and it will amplify the signal. Signals are always mixed with some kind of noise. In this case, I used a sine wave as noise on purpose. This process is not stochastic resonance because the output signal would be more difficult to detect than before. And then another noise was added. It is 180-degree phase shifted sine wave, which is assumed to be generated in the brain. If the new output signal is easier to detect, the process is stochastic resonance. This is a left view program to generate rhythms and inject them to an image. In this case, it was a sine wave to RGB channels. Sine wave noise was added to the original image. It was harder to detect signals, so it is not stochastic resonance. This is a correction example. We added 180-degree phase shifted sine wave to this image. Then it was somewhat easier to detect the original signal, so we can think it's stochastic resonance. Please note that there could be a lot of different ways to correct the image. There are different noise models. In the stochastic resonance phenomenon, not only white noise, but other kinds of noise can be used as a noise model. Pink noise, brown noise, Gaussian noise, etc. We can use various strategies. First, we can choose the best noise model. Second, we can combine a couple of noise models if you can get a better result. We can get some intuition from the example about how to use the I-Ching. We can think fortune-telling by the I-Ching as stochastic resonance between situation and 64 gua. We don't have to stick to one gua. Every possible matching could be considered. It happens in our brains. It's the reason why brains are foretelling devices. Peter Baelish said like this in the Game of Thrones. I think it is the best phrasing on how we can practically use the I-Ching in our lives. 궁궁을 design. At the moment, I'd like to focus on the shape of the 궁 and 을. The meaning of the 궁 and 을 could be discussed later. Yellow river diagram and blue river writing are the essence of the I-Ching. I'd like to reveal their relationship with the generation of rhythms and stochastic resonance. Yellow river diagram is related with the generation of the 5 elements. It can be seen as a symmetry breaking process. In this regard, 1. Water and 2. Fire are generated together. It's the first symmetry breaking. 3. Wood and 4. Metal are generated together. It's the second symmetry breaking. Then we can get a empty space at the center. This is a free zone that are hardly affected from 1, 2, 3, 4 elements. Its number is 5 and it is the earth element. Two series of the symmetry breaking made another symmetrical state. It's a spatial symmetry, and it gives some degree of freedom to control the whole system more efficiently. The spatial symmetry of the yellow river diagram makes a closed system. The center of the system is an independent free space that has all possibilities. It serves as a coordinate axis. At first, it is Uchi state, 0, because nothing is plotted at the coordinate axis. Later, it can be differentiated to 10 Uchi state. Luo river writing has the magic scale design. The numbers are deployed considering the weight distribution during rotation. We can think it's the symmetry of weight. The weight symmetry allows free move and perpetual rotation is possible. Thanks to the rotation, all kinds of rhythms can be generated, and they are used as noise models in the mechanism of stochastic resonance. These two curved lines cover all parts of the magic scale. It means that all kinds of rhythms can be generated simultaneously with this design. For example, when we measure the amplitude of the unknown signal, we can use the strategy to compare with the rhythms that we know amplitudes already. Then we can find the answer with ease. Taken together, 궁궁 of yellow river diagram makes axis. 을 of blue river writing makes rhythms. They are Uchi and Taichi, and they work together. Please note that when I say Uchi and Taichi, I'm not saying about the structures at the cosmic level. What I'm saying here is the contents and information in the brain. They are rhythms. Thank you for listening.